Booyah! You can be. Let me say that again, brothers and sisters. Let me say it again. Showtime. No more play. Now that you have your solar ID, now that you have your solar ID, booyah! Now you can be. But we got a conundrum. You already are being something. So what if you could get paid for being bad? What if you could get paid for being bad? What if all of this manifestation stuff, 65 days of talking, we're on day 53. What if manifestation, you ain't have to do nothing? You just woke up and you start manifesting. What if you could get paid for being bad? Meaning, what if you could get paid for Groundhog's Day? Meaning, what if you could monetize your negative habit pattern? Meaning, what if you could make the unconscious that is directing your life, that we're calling God and fate? We say, man, this is just the way that it is, bro. It's always been like that. Everybody in my family does that. I'm at the whim, you know. My great grandpa, he had big feet. My great grandpa after him had big feet. My grandfather had big feet. My daddy had big feet. I got big feet too. But what if you could get paid for having big feet? What if you could get paid? What if you could fall in love? What if you could do like David Robinson did? David Robinson didn't like basketball. David Robinson was a naval officer, and he said he wanted to be in the Navy, and he was a mathematic, got a degree in mathematics. There's a school here in San Antonio called the Carver Academy, started and built and funded by David Robinson, because David Robinson loved school. He didn't necessarily like basketball. So David Robinson just so happened to be good at basketball because he happened to be 7+ feet tall. Now, he ain't do nothing to be 7 feet tall, but David Robinson, thankfully, he was a little slow, but he wasn't that slow to figure out, hell, I might as well get paid. So they gave him a ball, and he started bouncing it and putting it in the basket. The Negro went on to make a lot of money doing something that he just called fate. David Robinson said it was his fate. It was just the luck of the cards that made him 7 feet tall. Shaquille O'Neal, same thing. He wasn't that good. He was all right. And he got into basketball because the dude was in high school. He went to Cole High School here in San Antonio. There's clips, they were showing it last night because there's no new sports on, so they were showing old sports. And Shaquille O'Neal in high school, and they said that he got into basketball. He liked other sports better, but he was like, man, it's my fate. So Shaquille O'Neal called his gift his fate. What if you could get paid because of your fate? The thing that's not necessarily a thing, you are unconscious of the thing, but you got the thing. What if you could get paid for what you are unaware of? You are unaware of your gift right now. So tonight, let's break down how to get paid for the gift that you are unaware of. You are probably unaware of this gift, and that gift that we broke down is called your solar ID. So we broke down your solar ID. Everybody and their grandmother got a solar ID because everybody was born on a specific month, a specific day, and a specific year. And I broke down my solar ID, and we all broke down our solar ID from last night. So we're not going to go over the solar ID. We already did that. So you know that you use the day that you was born, and I was born on the 15th. That makes me a guardian. I take the last two numbers of the birth year and the last number. I said two numbers. The last number of my birth year is a 2, which means divine. And my zodiac sign that I was born in is a Virgo, which means excellence. So I am the guardian of divine excellence. I am the guardian of divine excellence. But I was unaware. I've been unaware all my life that I am the guardian of divine excellence. Nobody told me. Anybody tell you? Nobody told me either. So, welcome to fate. Now, let me tell you the rest of your fate. The rest of your fate. Because if you could understand the rest of your fate, now remember, we live our life by a unconscious memory. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That's what the great Carl Jung said. Now, I don't want to disagree with my brother, but I just figured out because remember, I had to monetize my flaws. I didn't change them, I monetized them. So, what I'm telling with you tonight is this is where you start. Now, once you get big time, David Robinson got into basketball, he started because of his height. So did Shaquille O'Neal. Certain people get into what they get into because they have a natural giftedness, whether it's piano, whether it's singing, whether it's jumping. Now, I don't have a great voice, but I heard Sister Gwen sing, and she has a great voice. And so Sister Gwen's voice has taken her around the country and opened a lot of doors for her, just like Dr. Martinet. And so Sister Gwen and Dr. Martinet, they could call this fate. They didn't do anything, to my knowledge. Sister Gwen, what did you do to get your beautiful voice? Did you go to Harvard or Yale, Princeton? Did you stand on your head? Did you say 15 Hail Marys? What did you do, Sister Gwen, to get your voice? See, fate is something that is unavoidable that befalls upon us. Fate is a universal principle by which all things work. So fate is something that happens and we call it God. But what exactly is fate? Now, you guys remember we're talking about manifestation and we're breaking this down from something that the Bible called predestination. Fate is called predetermination. It means to predetermine. It means to decree or to destine or to destiny. So I do destine or destiny reports. I call it diaconia. So I know that I can determine the fate of any person, man, woman, or child on earth because I've been doing this all my life. So now I can determine, and I got $100,000 to the Negro or the Negroette that can prove me wrong. Now I've been saying this for 20 years, and I still got the 100 grand in my pocket. And guess what, Brother Khalif? That money ain't going nowhere, bro. So, Brother Khalif, why come I can make these statements and you make the same statements, Brother Khalif? Because we understand that there are certain ordinances in heaven. Now, later on this year, I will be breaking down one of my new books that's going to go into vivid detail of what me and Brother Khalif know and we talk about every day. So we don't guess. We don't wonder. We don't ponder. Today at 12 noon, I broke down that me, Brother Khalif, and other people who understand the value of studying to show yourself approved. And we broke all of that down, and we know it has nothing to do with men or quote unquote gods. It has to do with self. So let me make sure you understand. Nobody on this call should change. There's no such thing as self-improvement because there is no self. The ego is the greatest trick, the greatest lie that they have sold us on. So we don't know the ordinance of heaven. Now, Job chapter 38, verse 33. When we talk about our solar, and we broke this down last night. So for the people that didn't tune in to last night, this is part 2. So you're kind of at a little bit of a disadvantage because you may or you may not know your solar ID. So, and we broke this down yesterday. So I don't know if you could see that. So we broke this down last night. So Brother Cleef, I don't know, can you see that, Brother Cleef? So your solar ID, and this is floating around on Facebook, and it's on. You can find it on the internet. So you see that word that says guardian. See, I was born between the 11th and the 15th. So that means that I am a guardian of something. Now the next thing underneath the solar ID is the last number of the birth year. So the last number of the birth year. So again, I don't know if you guys can see that as well, but that is the last number of the birth year. Notice 0 is powerful, 1 is cosmic, 2 is divine, 3 is limitless, 4 is sacred, 5 is radiant, 6 is profound, 7 is spiritual, 8 is radical, 9 is magnificent. So I know that I am the guardian because I was born. We can see. All right, cool. Thanks, Sade. What's up, Sade? My daughter Sade tuning in. That's rare. I mean, Sade, what is it? Kids must be asleep, huh, Sade? And you guys actually got a day off. So my daughter Sade, proud of you, Sade. Love you. And so everybody has this. But does anybody know? No. So destiny is the ordinances of heaven. Now we have a conundrum. Most people have a conundrum because most people probably have not researched the definitions. So that way, when you go to my website, for example, of the labor of love report. So I had a brand new client and I did her labor of love report, and her numbers were 113. She was born on a month that when you reduce it, it comes to the number 1. The day that she was born, when you reduce it, it comes to the number 1. And the year that she was born, when you reduce it, it comes to the number 3. Now, for most people, they don't have this. This is my own personal chart. Should be showing you guys, but I like y'all. Y'all all right. So this is my own personal chart of what each one of these numbers mean. And so I can tell exactly why you are on the planet. And I can tell you your fate. Now, you call it God. But we looked it up in the first part of part 1. We looked up what the word calling means. We looked up today, we broke down all of these terms, and we know that the word, it says Christ is the power of God and the wisdom of God. We know to get no. So we know that the power of God means dunamis. That means power, resources, energy, and ability that comes from your numbers. So, Brother Khalif, do you know your numbers, Brother Khalif? I think Brother Khalif knows. I think he knows his numbers. Sade, do you remember your numbers, Sade? I gave them to you, Sade. You remember your numbers? Dr. Span? I know Dr. Span knows her numbers. So your power, according to the Bible, comes from your numbers. And then wisdom, according to the Bible, Sophros, we looked it up. We looked it up. We looked it up in the Greek and in the Hebrew, and it means power that comes from letters. Now, I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, but I am in the shed. So each letter of my name gives me an attribute and a characteristics. But if I don't know that, I live my life, that orders and structures my life, and I call it God. I call it fate. So all I did was uncover fate, because all my life I was unaware. So have you. So all your life, you've been living your life and you've been unaware. And most people on this call right now, if you're not a part of my system, you're living your life and you're totally unaware of the unconscious mem, your most dominant thought. And this unconscious dominant thought is directing your life, and you call it fate. So until you make this unconscious conscious, you're going to be walking around thinking God is causing bad things to happen to you, or God is calling good things to happen for you. So you can give all your money to the reverend, to the doctor, and to the bishop, and you're going to think that the reverend, the doctor, and the bishop. Or when something's bad, you're going to say, whoop, the devil is whooping my ass. When something's bad, that means the devil is whooping your ass. This is a family show. Plus, my daughter Sade is listening. I can't be. I got to represent Brother Khalif. I can't be dropping no F-bombs today. So we call it fate. Why? We don't know that we are called. Now, everybody from the day show at 12 noon, did we not break down the word called? Now, If y'all missed it, hey, that's between you and your God. So we already broke all of this down. We broke down the word power in the Greek. We looked it up. We broke down the word dunamis and dudamai. We broke down God. Some of y'all think God is this mystical dude in the sky. And we broke it down, boo boo. No more play over here, Brother Cleve. We be breaking it down in the Greek, the Hebrew, the Aramaic, the Chaldean. So now I know that what used to be unconscious, I was unaware. So for the first, my daughter can attest to this. For the first 30, 40 years of my life, I was unaware. I was crashing and burning, Dr. Span. I was crashing and burning. So now, Dr. Span, all of the things that they was trying to give me medication for, I get paid for, Dr. Span. So, Dr. Span, I still flirt. But Dr. Span, I get paid now to flirt. I get paid to uplift the spirits of other people. I can see the good in people. So when I tell people, when I give people a compliment, some people can, depending on, remember, I know charming and harming, charm and harm is really, really, really close. That's a fine line, because you could be, you could be saying things that quote unquote are not true. Well, that's where the harm comes in. But if you say something that is true, bam, that elevates. And so the goal in life is to make sure, I'm doing the video. So the goal in life is to make sure is to make sure that each and every one of us over and understand us. No more play, Sister Holly. That's correct. So once you understand, quote unquote, fate, what happens? Dunamis power. What does that mean? You understand your letters and your numbers. So now I know, because I'm born in September, and I got this. Now, if you're not a member of the life management system, everything I'm showing you, you don't know nothing about it. Now that's why you should go ahead and join. So right now you're guessing because you don't know that you don't have this. So this tells me that the month that I was born, it tells me exactly the gift that I got. So if you look at September, you see that word. What's the word for September? Well, people ask me, Doc, how do you know what you know? How do I know what I know? Do y'all see what that means in September? What does September say? Oh, y'all can't see it? Let me adjust it. September says total awareness, Brother Cleve. Brother Cleve, it didn't say partial awareness, Brother Cleve. Brother Cleve, that's not what it said. Brother Cleve, it says total awareness, my brother. So, see, Brother Cleve, when I was young, dumb, and stupid, I didn't have confidence because I was guessing. I was wondering. I was hoping. I was wishing. See, confidence, Brother Cleve, comes from clarity. Crystal clear clarity. See, we're in the age of Aquarius. We're in the age where the water bearer is pouring out water. It says you're supposed to, when you go into the city and you see the man with the pitcher of water, you're supposed to follow him. Why? Water is life. That's why everything that's happening is attacking water, because water is H2O. What happens if I take away the O? You just got the H. So you got to have the H and the O. So once you over and understand, and once you make the thing that is unaware. Now, do you need to be aware? So how do you need to be aware of what you are unaware? Not necessarily. Why? Because what you are unaware of is already in your life. So I know what I'm unaware of. What now? Unawareness means there is a thought that is so predominant that it draws things into your life. I can tell what that thought is. So if you have your most predominant thought is fear, I can tell because you will let nobody near. I can tell. Because if your most predominant thought is fear, every time you get in a relationship with someone who tries to come near, bam, you destroy the relationship. You sabotage it. Or I guarantee you, I got $100,000 that 90% of the people that's single, they're single because of fear. And that fear won't let nobody near. Now, the fear comes from somewhere. It just didn't pop up, Negro. The fear came up because you probably was in a bad relationship. You probably got beat as a kid. Somebody dropped you on your head. Your fear, it's real. But as we talked about today at 12 noon, the word calling comes from the Greek word kaleo and kalis, which means to incite by word. So no insight, no invite. So the Bible says, make your calling and your election sure. So the way that you make your calling sure, Negro, ain't got nothing to do with no reverend, no doctor, or no bishop, contrary to popular belief. But unfortunately, that's what they teach down in Ebenezer Baptist. So therefore, you waiting on God to call you, Negro. You better call your mother beep 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 self. Now I know that's contrary to your theology, but see, Negro, I looked the shit up. I didn't read it in no book. So once you over and understand that if it is to be, it is up to me. But who's me? Job 38:33. Now, see, Job 38:33 is a conundrum for all reverends, all doctors, and all bishops, because it says that the ordinances of heaven, it says, do you know the ordinances of heaven? Can you set the dominion, therefore, in the earth? Meaning that the ordinance of heaven as above, so below. That's what you should be doing. So we're supposed to be taking our higher self, the ordinances of heaven, the laws of heaven, and drop it down into a body of a man and a woman. That's what you should be doing, but you're not. Not you personally, but people you know. You're listening to the preacher over there at Ebenezer Baptist, and he telling you that if you don't tithe, you're going to go to hell. Or if you don't jump through this unto you, and you believe him, therefore it is done unto you as you believe. So you call it faith, though. But remember, it means to incite by words. So you invite based upon insight. Oh, okay, y'all didn't get it? Okay, let me break it down for you. Boo-boo. This is no more play over here, Sister Holly. No more play, Sister Holly. So your manifestation, your life is the result of your flight. See, we are running from something. What y'all running from, boo-boo? Remember, Job said, the thing that I have feared the most has come up on me. Fear is more powerful than faith on this dimension. That's why whatever you fear about, you bring about. That's why whatever you resist persists. That's why I don't resist nothing. That's why I don't fear nothing. The Bible tells me God is not giving me a fear. So therefore, I do what I fear. The moment somebody say, hey, now when I was a kid, they the same thing. I just get my ass whooped all the time. I could be my brothers and sisters over here, and they'll tell you, yeah, little badass Willie. Yeah, that nigga was bad. My grandmother said, boy, don't you chunk no rocks at my chickens. So what I do, I go out there and chunk rocks at her chickens. Whenever you tell me something, I just get in a lot of fights. The Negro would say, man, I dare you to cross this line. Okay, so I crossed the line. So most people are afraid. I was afraid, of swimming, so I became a lifeguard. I was afraid of guns, so I became an expert marksman. I was afraid of bad guys, so I went into law enforcement, worked in the corrections. So I've mastered my fears by doing them. I feel the fear, and I do it anyway. I was afraid to quit my job and sit on my badonky donk and get paid. And now I quit my job. And for the last 10, really 20 years, I've been sitting on my badonky donk and I've been getting paid. Why? Calling. So we got to make our election sure. But how do we do that? Well, thankfully, I developed a system, and it's inside of 3 books. And it's based upon your name at birth, it's based upon your date of birth, and it's based upon your blood type. So I can tell you your destiny, which you call fate. So fate is just numbers and letters that you are unaware of. So everybody on this call, I would like for you to assist me with telling the world their numbers and their letters. That's why I'm taking the next 50 people that goes to my website, and we're halfway there. I shouldn't say 50. It's like the next, I think I got like 20 slots left or whatever until we get to 50. Because we're going to teach everybody their numbers and their letters. Because there are young men and there are young women who are frustrated, especially right now, because the way that the economy is. There's a lot of people who are angry right now because there are certain things happening right now. There are a lot of people that feel stress right now because the definition of the word stress, as I've been saying, is the inability to predict, the inability to control, and the inability to change the future. So if you cannot predict, if you cannot control, and if you cannot change, what do you got? What do you got? Now remember, you if you cannot predict, if you cannot control, and if you cannot change, you got stress. Now, let me say it again, because without letters, without numbers, you can't do this. Because the Bible says that the heavens declare the handiwork. The Bible says that the stars in the sky was given for signs and for seasons. The Bible says that the stork and the turtle dove, they know their seasons, their times. They know what's going to happen, but my people don't. How come we don't? Because they took out the Mazaruth out of the Bible. They took out zodiacs out of the Bible, and they said that, hey, if you are reading the zodiac signs, that's of the devil, you're going to go to hell and burn. So people stopped reading it. And that's why people are lost today. So my life changed when I started doing everything that the Bible told me not to do. I started, see, I thought I was angry. My mama died when I was 13. Y'all know the story. So I set out every scripture that I was keeping, especially after I became licensed and ordained. I got married, had a bunch of kids, young, dumb, and stupid. Nobody told me that God gave man work before woman, Dr. Khalif. Nobody told me that, bro. I got woman before work. So I had a woman, but I didn't have no work. And the woman is the helpmate. So how can she help you if you don't even know? You don't even know what to do. So I didn't know, because I didn't have nobody pull alongside of me and tell me, yo, young buck, come over here, let me tell you something, bro. Get your ass a job first. Stop chasing poo nanny and chase purpose. Dr. Span, nobody told me that. Now, I probably wouldn't have listened if they would have told me. Probably wouldn't have did any good. But it'd have been nice if I'd have had somebody who'd told me, especially somebody that I respected. So I put woman before work. Because in the Bible, I didn't read where God took Adam. He didn't ask him. He took him and he put him in the garden. And he told Adam, till the soil, homie. Then he made Eve. So God gave man work before he gave man woman. But we got it backwards. And so my job is, I don't want to change anybody. I want you to, whatever your most, I almost said a bad word, your most dark secret, that's your most profitable product. I said it this way, your most predominant problem is your most profitable product. The thing that you are ashamed of the most, don't change it, monetize it. So right now, I get paid a lot of money. And I get paid a lot of money to do what? What some people call flirt. So I get on the phone and I connect with people on a level that most people can't, because they feel uncomfortable. They say it was personal, just another. No, I'm gonna look. If a woman is very attractive, I'm gonna tell her, I think you're very attractive. Now she can do with it whatever hell she wants. If a man is very attractive, I say, hey man, you're a good looking dude. Now some dudes, they take that as like, man, this dude, is he coming on to me? Is he gay? Then if a guy's lazy, I'm gonna tell him, yo, bro, you need to get your ass up and go get a job. I've lost the last 3 male clients. That's what I told them, and they quit. Their wives stuck around, but the men, they left. Why? I told them the truth. I didn't tell them King James. So Dr. Martinet, a lot of men, they really don't like me that much, Dr. Martinet, because I tell them Negroes the truth. If your wife out hustling and you there watching TV, telling me, well, bro, I can't tell. Nah, bro, get a job. I had just one brother who was like, he was in computers and he was a coder. He was working on computer code and blah, blah, blah. He was doing this. Wife was hustling and grinding. They losing cars and houses. And this Negro sitting there writing computer code. But he's not making no money, though. He's waiting for that big fish. Okay, until the big fish comes in, bro, you might want to go, I don't know, pack groceries, Uber, do something. So I'm authentic. I'm an open book. But I've always been like that. So that was a flaw, though. When I was growing up, that was a flaw. And that was a flaw because I was very sensitive. I used to cry a lot when I was a kid. I said, why this little nigga crying all the time? I could sense it. I could feel things on a deep level, Dr. Span. I was an empath. But I didn't know what to do with all these feelings. And so when I went to the hood, they thought I was soft. So I used to get picked on a lot. So I learned how to hide my feelings, Dr. Martinet. But then when I became an adult, I couldn't make no money because people don't follow people who are fake. There's something about fake people just in your gut. You're like, unless you fake too. Now snakes, they hang out with other snakes. But see, I'm not no con man. I'm gonna tell you straight up, my products and services work. I'm not a religious man. Now I used to be a religious man. I'm gonna tell you straight up, religion is whack. Because according to the American Psychiatric Association, which I keep saying, because I was a licensed and ordained minister, I didn't read about the shit in the book. And I know what it does to the soul. It does, like when I talk to my little sister, she waiting on Jesus. When I know you got to get your ass up and do it yourself. Because Jesus already did everything that he's going to do. So I know Christianity, it cripples you. Because it makes you docile. Because what? It takes away your aggressive. Because people believe that Jesus was meek and lowly. Because they misinterpret the scripture. Which we just read today at 12 noon. That you got to be, remember the word we were comprehensive. And we dropped off the C-O-M. And it was prehensile. And we broke that down. It means to apprehend. It means to go out and get it. Take it. The violent, take it by force. That's scripture too. But for some reason or other, most Christians, especially because again, I can't talk about Muslims because I'm not a Muslim. And I can't talk about white people because I ain't white. But I was a black Christian. Well, I'm still black. But I'm not a Christian no more. I'm a Christian. I'm a weapon of God. I'm not drugged by God. That's two totally different things. No, so as an empath, I had to learn the hard way, Sister Holly, that I had to man up. But then I forgot and I left my feelings out. So I wasn't making no money. I was aggressive, but I was arrogant and I was cocky. And I didn't have no feelings. I couldn't connect with people. So I kept my aggression and my empathic skills. Bam! I started making money. I started being happy. I started being healthy. I was able to operate and vibrate in a great relationship with other people because I tapped into what Carl Jung talks about in all of his books on modern psychology. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. See, most people have not made the unconscious conscious. This is called awareness. We broke down today in the Bible where it talks about in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, this word that we call aletheia or truth. We broke this down today at 12 noon. I talk about this all the time in all of my shows because when we're talking about now tonight, we're not talking about church. We ain't talking about, religion, spirituality. We're talking about one thing, results. How do you get results on demand? Because a lot of people can manifest, but then I say, okay, do it again. So can you if you manifest $5,000 this month, can you manifest $5,000 next month and the month before that? And can you manifest $5,000 every month? Okay, why not? You know why you can't manifest $5,000 every month? Not you personally, but people you know. Now, I'm not talking about with no job. Now, if you got a job, the job, that's not faith. Now, let's not get it twisted. Let somebody offer me. Now, y'all already know. I was offered a job, making $1 million a year. What did I do? I took it. Okay, what happened? Do y'all remember? I told everybody, number one, y'all remember last year? Dr. Span, I know you remember. I wrote my book, Dare to Be You. I wrote my book, The Eagles Club, and I set out to start a worldwide organization seeking the deeper aspects of life and godliness. I opened up the physical location. It was called Inspirational, Inspiritas. It means in spirit. It was called Inspirational Grounds. That means the grounds were inspirational. And it was dual grounds as in coffee grounds, and then grounds as in the ground we stand on. It was inspirational, Inspiritas. That means in the spirit. In life, everything was going good, Dr. Span. And then guess what happens, Dr. Span? The thing that I tell you, see, this is why I tell y'all this. You know what I started doing, Dr. Span? I stopped inciting myself by words. I started listening to everybody else. You know, they told me, Dr. Span, we was the first black-owned bookstore in the history of San Antonio on the east side. Then my wife got this award for being the first black female veteran to open up a business in the city of San Antonio. First black female veteran. So they came down, my boy came down from Austin, gave us the American flag with all stuff. And then black people, Dr. Span, black people came into our shop and they said it was too black. I'm like, shit, damn, I'm black. They looked at the art, Dr. Span, and you know what, Dr. Span? The Negroes didn't support us. None of my investors was black, Dr. Span. None of my customers was black, Dr. Span. You know, white people from the north side of town, they drove all the way over to our coffee shop to support us. The black people, they didn't support us. Negroes don't support other Negroes. I don't even think my own family came by, Dr. Span. I'm trying to think. Damn, no, I don't really think. I don't think so. You know, black family members don't even support other black families. Not that they should. I mean, it'd be nice. But they're not supposed to, as I found out. But it would be, I mean, it would be nice. I see black people all the time. I my neighbors, you know, they crossed the street. They was running like 10 deep for a while there. Then they all got on their feet. They all worked together. Do black people do that? Hell no. Negroes got that crab in the barrel mentality. So guess what, Dr. Span? I made a decision, a corporate decision, an executive decision. So, Sister Stacy, you know what I did, Sister Stacy? Reverend Stephanie, you know what I did, Reverend Stephanie? I made a decision. If it is to be, it is up to me. So, Brother Alvin, I got my black ass up. And I got busy, Brother Alvin. So you may have to do the same thing. Sister Gwen, you may have to go solo. But how do we go solo? Brothers and sisters, out of everything that we talked about in this manifestation class, and we've talked about a lot of stuff in these 53 days, you have to be able to make the thing that you are unaware of. Don't worry about trying to become aware of what you're not aware of, because it's gonna manifest in your life every day. What you are unaware of is go outside in your driveway. That is what you're unaware of. Your house that you live in, that is what you're unaware of. The clothes that you wear, that is what you're unaware of. Your body texture, your body shape, your body size, that is what you are unaware of. See, we are unaware of our most predominant thought. That's why it's called unconscious. It's part of our unconscious. That's why, remember, the word unconscious means below the threshold of detection. You cannot detect it. You can see the evidence of it. For example, what is electricity? So if you give me the definition, if you tell me what electricity is, what you're doing is you're telling me what electricity does. You're not telling me what electricity is, because nobody knows. Everybody can tell me what electricity does, but what is it? What is spirit? Now you tell me what spirit does. Spirit is breath. That's what we do. We breathe it in. But what is it? Okay, H2O. Okay, well, what is that though? What is hydrogen? What is it? Not what it does. See, we don't know. It's magic. It's what we call magic. But nobody says that, because Negroes get afraid. We say magic, Negroes get scared. Negroes just like turn on the light with roaches. Negroes scatter. That's demonic, brother. Now, it's very important that you over and understand. There is a unconscious that controls the subconscious that makes you conscious. Do you have to know all of that? No, you do not. All you have to do is know that the thing that is running your life, you call that God. That is found in your letters and the numbers of your name. That's called God. God has chosen. Now, we broke this down already today at 12 noon, so we don't have time to go back over it. Just listen to today's show at 12 noon. God said, I have chosen to use the foolishness. Now, I didn't call it foolishness, God did. God said, you know what? I'm going to use this. This is foolishness, though, but you know what? I'm going to use it anyway. I could imagine God sitting up there like, you know what? This system that they got down here on earth, this is some whack. These fools is crazy as hell. But God was sitting up there and God said, you know what? Even though this shit is crazy, these Negroes running around here yelling and stuff, and they doing this stuff, and they call it, what they call it again? They call it preaching. So God said, for it is written, Psalms, I'm not Psalms, 1 Corinthians 1:19. 1 Corinthians 1:19, for it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and I will bring it to nothing. The understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not God made foolishness the wisdom of this world? So 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 20 tells me, you know what? God is like, I don't know why these fools doing this. Like, this shit is crazy. But I'm gonna monetize crazy. So if monetizing bad is good enough for God, hey, why y'all tripping? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just wondering. So I get paid for being bad, and I get paid for being good. So when I lose, I win, and when I win, I win. So either way, Dr. Span, I win. So every day is a good day, Dr. Span. Dr. Span, if the corona, whatever the hell they call it, don't go nowhere, Dr. Span, I win. Why? My black ass been working at home every day for the last 10 years. I don't go nowhere. Only place I go, Dr. Span, is to the gym. And I just started going to the gym, Dr. Span, because I got tired of working out by myself in my garage. I really don't even need a car. Shit, I got 4 of them in the driveway, Dr. Span, but I don't need a car. Why? Shit, I don't go nowhere. Pretty much everything I get, I can order from online. So all of this stuff, does what's happening affect me at all, Dr. Span? Answer, no. All my money that I make, my income comes from online. I don't go to nobody's house. So I make money helping people who should be making money. So I'm in the business of helping people start businesses. Now everybody needs to start a business. As I've been saying I was telling my daughter this, and I had been telling my daughter for 5 years, Dr. Span. 5 years I've been begging my oldest daughter. So how come you don't do workout videos, dance videos? You're leaving money on the table. Yeah, dad, I'm gonna get to it later. Now, guess what she got to do now, Dr. Span? If she had listened 5 years ago, she'd be 5 years deep ahead of everybody else. But now she got to start with everybody. Now, I'm not saying that nobody should quit their current job or whatever, but everybody should have already been online. I don't care if you're selling paint rocks. Go outside, find a rock and paint it, and freaking put it on, take a picture of it and put it online. Somebody will buy it. I guarantee you. You'll be shocked, like I've been shocked at what people will buy. Have y'all been on eBay? You could write a 5-page something and put it on super extra duper large print and put 100 pictures in it. Go to, freaking copyright or what they call it. I forgot the pictures that are not copyrighted, and pull pictures off the internet and put 1 sentence on each page, turn it into a 50 book, post it online. Watch what happens to it. People will buy it. See, making money is not hard, but thinking positive is, because we don't see worth and value in ourselves. I already know, because I already been down that road already. So fate is what you call a problem, but problems are really products. So the more problems you have, like if you are extremely overweight, if you are extremely underweight, ooh, this is a time for you to get paid. Because everybody's sitting at home and they're just looking at themselves. And they're like, ooh, man, I'm too skinny. I need to bulk up. Or they're looking at home and they say, ooh, damn, I'm a little fluffy. I need to trim down. Okay. Bam, you come out with your workout video. How to lose weight during Corona. Or whatever you want to title it. Why? What you laughing at? It don't matter. And and so I was talking to the wife, y'all. I'm not talking to myself. Y'all probably like, damn, that nigga was talking to himself. That fool crazy as hell. No, there was somebody else in the room, even though y'all couldn't see him or see her. So let's let's wrap this up. Brother Alvin getting hungry, and he got to go get his chicken wing. Unawareness directs your life, and you call it fate. So I'm not gonna sit up here and be no therapist and tell you, okay, think, relax, breathe deeply, put on some nice sound music, get in touch with your inner self, breathe in slowly, go back to your childhood. Remember running through the field? Oh man, hell no, we're not doing all that. Now you can. I'm not upset. I'm being a little funny, but you can do that. However, like I said, you don't have to do all that. The evidence of how you think is in the shizness or the lack of shizness in your life. So if you don't got 4 cars in your driveway, then not that 4 cars in the driveway is the ticket. Maybe the value of what 4 cars cost in your bank account. So what is your definition of wealth? Everybody, let me leave you with the smoking gun. I like talking about money, especially now, because money is just energy. It's just currency. Now that I know what money is, I usually didn't like talking about money because I didn't have any. And now that I got money, and I know people that have money and people that don't have money, and I always thought about people used to always tell me that money can't buy happiness. And money, like I don't know what money them niggas had. I see people say that. And I said, and it would be people who supposedly had money. And I don't know like where they from. Like I don't know. I ain't never met nobody that had money that was unhappy. Now I met people who inherited money. Like like Gloria, what was her name? Vanderbilt, what her lady name? Anderson Cooper's mom. Anderson Cooper had a brother that committed suicide. And their mom, I think her name was Gloria Vanderbilt. Was it Gloria? Sister Stacy on the night. I know Sister Stacy, and she know all of these facts. But I think it was Gloria Vanderbilt. And then what about the Melendez brothers? Y'all remember the Melendez brothers, the two twins that they, killed their mom and dad? And, you know, there's been a few people that's been very, very wealthy. And they committed suicide or they life. They got, and most of the children, they got molested. Because y'all know, Spirit Cooking, Pizzagate, and everybody, man. I don't know nobody in Hollywood that's not a part of that craziness. They feed off the fear of children. And there she goes. Sister Stacy said, "Yep, it was Gloria Vanderbilt." So I know Sister Stacy is a walking fact checker. So if y'all need to check any facts, you ain't don't go to Snoops.com. Go to Sister Stacy. You need a website so people can go fact check. They can pay you $5 per fact. You'll be a rich woman overnight. Fact checking by Stacy. So Sister Stacy, every time I need a fact check, I ask Sister Stacy, bam, she knows. So Gloria Vanderbilt had this son. Anderson Cooper is one. He gay as all get up. Another dude committed suicide. Both of them knuckleheads, they mama exposed them to this whole pedophilia crap. Everybody in Hollywood. Did y'all hear what Mel Gibson when he came out talking about it? Brad Pitt busted him out. The other dude, what's the little dude? Corey Feedman. Sister Stacy, what's his name? Corey Feldman. He came out. He in hiding right now. If he don't, he probably end up in a pine box. So everybody that come out against Hollywood's pedophilia ring, they end up in pine boxes. So those kids are rich, but they got their money from their mama and their daddy. But the mama and daddies who are rich, who work for the money, I don't hear them saying that money can't buy happiness. Now we all know money can't buy happiness. I'm just saying the way that you view money is the way that money views you. Now, that's very important because remember, You manifest what you are unconscious of. So you don't get what you pray for. You don't get what you think about. You get what you fate about, your fate. You manifest your fate. Right now, everything in your life is why the lights looks kind of dim. Why why? Everything that you manifesting in your life is the result of what, okay, there we go. Fate. Fate. But people spend all their life trying to find it out, which is really easy for me. I can tell you your fate in about 5 minutes. And your name and your date of birth, I can tell you everything about you. I know everything about you because I'm gonna do this right here. Bam! I'm just holding up a life optimization report that I just did for a new client. What's in there? Letters and numbers. So we broke down letters and numbers. That's called power and wisdom. This is Christ. What is Christ? Christ is the office. This is the power. This is the wisdom of that office. Without this, then you gotta go get a job. So now remember, when I was in my first marriage, I couldn't keep a job. And so every time I quit a job, because I had children and my first wife so fast, all my children were like back to back. Because again, remember, I was young, dumb, and stupid. I didn't have work. Well, I did, but as soon as I got out of the military, then that's when all the shit went bad. Because I got out of the military, Dr. Span, I didn't have a plan because the Reverend Dr. Bishop told me, just believe Jesus, and Jesus will set you free. Jesus will take care of you, brother. So, Sister Stacy, I got out. I don't know what happened to Jesus. That Negro left because my black ass crashed and burned every year. And I had a lot of Jesus because I was a licensed and ordained minister, and I used to preach it. And guess what, Sister Stacy? Jesus never showed up and paid a bill because he wasn't supposed to. Because the Negro already gave me wisdom to know how not to do no stupid shit like that, and I did because I wasn't listening. I was listening to the reverend and a doctor and a bishop. I wasn't listening to the power of Christ that's found in my letters and the numbers of my name. So God gave me at birth everything that I need for life and godliness. I've already had everything I'm doing right now. I've been doing since I was a little kid. Everything. I'm not doing nothing new. So how come I'm just now getting to the point where I can manifest stuff? Because I stopped listening to other people. Because there are very few Christians that believe what I believe. Like I tell you guys all the time, me and my wife, we don't believe the same thing. My wife has a traditional, Christian belief. But it's interesting because my wife get up every day before I do. My wife works harder and longer than I do. But remember, she's a 4 though. So remember, 4s they stable. My wife is the most other than maybe my sister Brenda. My sister Brenda's been working since 18. I don't think, Brenda, has you ever missed a day from work? Other than, Brenda, have you ever even called in sick? To my knowledge, my sister ain't never missed a day from her job. Now, that is damn good to me. But does Jesus wake you up every morning? Or do you got an alarm clock? So how do you get up every morning? So what am I saying? I know Jesus is the source of our energy, but I used to use my energy to go chase poo nanny. And then I pimped the game, Dr. Span. So you know what I did? Now I'm not recommending y'all do this, but I made sure I had poo nanny at every job I went to. So what I did, I used my flaw. So that way I could motivate myself until I got knowledge. I bloomed where I was planted. I took what the devil meant for evil and I used it for good. So I had 3 jobs, Dr. Spam, because I had 3 women. There's a woman at every job. I got there early and I stayed late. Brother Alvin, I was the hardest working black man on the planet. I did that shit for about 10 years until I found out that I could replace women with words, specifically the word of God. Now, I don't recommend y'all do what I did. All I'm simply saying, I did what I had to do to get to the place where I could understand I took what, again, was my negative habit pattern and I monetized it. I didn't try to change. I don't recommend changing because there's people who walk around and they got bad habits. Negro, if you're an alcoholic, go to a bar and get the job. Guess what? Your black ass will be there early every day, and you will stay there late. Now, you're going to be drunk half the time, and hopefully before you can earn enough money before you blow out your liver. What am I saying? I'm saying you take what the devil meant for evil and you use it for good. Now, once the money started rolling in, you start doing what I did. What did I do? I saw how what I was doing was hurting other people. If you're an alcoholic and you're making all this money and you're working in a bar, but you're drinking it up and you're coming home drunk and you're kicking the dog and you're beating the wife, you're going to see if you do exactly what the Bible says. And that is what? Aletheia. Truth. What is truth? Awareness, perspective. Look around, become aware. The decisions that I made was hurting the people that I claimed that I loved. So if you are half a man, you are going to change because you're going to see worth and value. You're going to see the fact that the way that you live in your life is causing pain. You're having collateral damage. But the problem that everybody is making, people are trying to get moral first. Now remember, Jesus never fixed somebody up and then called them. See, the church, they try to fix people before they save people. Now, you should feed people before they get saved, not afterwards. So a lot of people, they'll talk to you after. And you should be talking to them before. What does that mean? That means that you should accept people as they are. See, the reason that you can't accept people as they are, because you can't accept yourself as you are. So, Dr. Span, my life changed when I dropped morality and I embraced causality. And I asked myself, Dr. Span, what is the cause of all my problems? And I found out, Dr. Span, that the cause of all my problems was self. It wasn't morality. It was causality. So in order to manifest, self-acceptance is the number one key to manifestation. Because when you accept the self, what you are doing is you are accepting fate because it's unconscious. See, we have three parts of our mind. And the part of our mind that is unconscious means that we are unaware of. So that works in the background. And that is going in the opposite way for which you want to go. And you are sabotaging all of your efforts of trying to create and trying to get what you want. So what I did is I removed thoughts with resistance. There is no reverend, there is no doctor, there's no self-help program on the planet that I know of that teaches this. I'm just telling y'all what works. Now, you can go with, Creflo Dollar, TD Jakes. You can go with, I don't know, what's old boy, Tony Robbins or some other self-help guru. All I'm simply saying is that until you marry the three, like it says in the Gospel of Thomas, until you make the three one, your dogs don't hunt. What does that mean? Morality destroys causality because morality makes you feel bad. And what you feel, bam, that becomes real. So when I was a young preacher, I felt bad because I knew I was sleeping around. I was cheating on my wife. So my FEEL created my FEILD, my field, my aura, my chi. So I was drawing what I was feeling, and I didn't know. So nothing I worked. Now the church said, or the church would have said, if they would have known, they would have said, well, Negro, The reason that your life is not working because Jesus ain't blessing you because you're a bad guy. Now, I don't know. That could not be true. All I know is when I let go of what the church calls morality, aka Jesus, bam, my life totally changed. I became very successful. Why? The Bible says a double minded man will not receive nothing from God. The Bible says where there is bitter envy and self seeking, there is confusion in every evil work. Bitter envy and self seeking. Bitter envy is jealousy. I know that Camaro that I got in my driveway right now, I've always wanted. I know the house I'm living in right now, I always wanted. But the people in the church told me that that was greed, that that was a love of money, that that was selfish, that you should not try to get that. You gotta tithe, and when God wanted you to have it, He'll open the door and He'll bless it for you, and He just gonna drop it in your lap. Well, I tried that shit for 20 plus 30 years, and the shit didn't work for me. So what did I do? Brother Alvin, I got up and I went out. And I did exactly what the Bible tells me to do, as I know now, because now I look it up. And now I know Christ crucified. The word crucified means amplified. The key to success is to remove toxic shame and guilt. If I want to eat sugar, I don't give a damn what nobody says. I'm going to eat sugar. Because I know it's going to affect my body and not nobody else's. So I don't feel bad while doing bad. Eating sugar is not good for the body. So if you eat the sugar and you feel bad, you get a double dose of cortisone in the body. But if you eat the sugar and feel good, you just gonna get the ramifications of eating the sugar. But you won't get the cortisone from feeling bad, the guilt. See, people are doing bad things, which is producing bad feelings because their definition of bad was given to you by who? Some reverend, some doctor, and some bishop. There are some benefits to eating sugar because depending on what you're going to do next after you eat the sugar, or depending on if you want to dehydrate yourself. What if you got a lot of mucus in the body? What happens when you eat a lot of sugar? You're going to do this. It's going to dry up all the mucus because sugar pulls water out of your system. So if you got the corona, or if you got the what's the other one? The influenza. Or if you got the bird flu, or if you got the swine flu, or you got whatever they concocted and cooked up, sugar heats up the brain. Now, are there better ways to do it? To pull water out of or dry up the system or remove the trash out of the system? Absolutely. I'm just simply saying you have to remove the feelings that you have that are bad. And if you need a reason to do that, you got to find you one. You got to justify. Because what happens when you release that feeling? You feel good. What happens when you feel good? You draw good. What happens when you draw good? You be good. You elevate. And then you really, really start doing the thing that you've been trying to do all your life. Now, I have no problem being faithful. But all my life, I had a problem being faithful. Why? I was trying. What happens when you try to do something? Now, this is a pen. This is a regular ink pen, right? If I put this ink pen on my desk, or if I put this ink pen on something, and I look at this pen and I say to myself, I am going to try to pick it up. I'm going to blow. I'm going to take my hand ready. I'm going to try to pick it up, Sister Holly. I'm going to try. I'm not going to pick it up, though, but I'm going to try. What happens? I'm trying. Nothing. So you should never say try. You said, I'm going to pick it up. Pick it up. I'm going to put it down. Put it down. That's it. Ain't no such thing as trying, dog. See, y'all walk around talking about, well, Brother Will, I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try. No, man, don't try, bro. Just either do or don't. There is no such thing as trying. The brain doesn't understand trying. So if you want to eat sugar, eat it. And don't give a mother about whatever. And then if your kidneys go out or whatever, at least you know you went out doing what you enjoy. So if I go out, I'm gonna go out like I say. If I'm going to hell, I'm going to hell with gasoline draws on. I'm gonna bust it wide. I ain't gonna barely squeak in. But guess what? If I'm going to heaven, I'm going to heaven. I'm busting the door in. So that's all I'm saying. The brain, the universe, God responds to a made up mind. The secret to manifestation is to stop fighting yourself. Stop feeling bad. So you did some shit in the past, right? Oh, Brother Will, you know what I did in the past, bro. I did some bad stuff, Brother Will. I don't know. Come on, dog. I used to do that crap too. Dr. Span, I used to be up there blowing snot all over the altar, Dr. Span. You know, they had the altar call with Dr. Span. I'd be the first one up there, crying like a newborn baby, Dr. Span. And no good word, I'm gonna go. As soon as church is over, I'm gonna go right up there, pick up the phone. Hey, baby, what you doing? So as soon as I released all that crap, Dr. Span, guess what happened? Whatever you resist, persists. I've been trying and trying, Dr. Span. I was trying, I'll be crying, I was praying, oh God, please help me. I don't want to be a bad guy. And I was a bad as hell. The moment I said, I don't give a what nobody thinks. If I want to sleep with 10 people, I'm going to sleep with 10 people. If I want to sleep with a dog or a monkey or a squirrel or a rabbit, even though I don't recommend it, what's my point? My point is this. Don't get hung up on sleeping. My point is, y'all better stop feeling bad. Because whatever you feel, that becomes real, not what you do. So you do something, feel good. You do something good, feel good. You do something bad, feel good. Just feel good. Focus on your feelings. You bring about what you feel about, not what you think, even though your thinking controls the feelings. But you got to focus on your feelings. So every day I wake up and I'm like, oh man, I feel kind of, oh hell no, I can't feel that today. So if I could get amped up, you know, I start changing my thoughts. Whatever I got to do to get back excited. Now it's easy because all I got to do is think about purpose. So it's very easy for me to remain excited, pumped up, amped up. Because why? I'm living my dream. But Dr. Span, I wasn't always living my dream. 10 years ago, Dr. Span, when I started this, I made $10,000 for the whole year. And the wife was looking at me like, damn, Negro, I don't know. You sure that you were called? Well, no, I didn't hear them. God say, go thoueth and sitteth on thou asseth and talketh alleth death. I didn't hear that, Dr. Span. I didn't get no broken English or King James or whatever. But what I did understand was this word right here. Chim, what we talked about this morning. Kaleo. Certain words incite me. All of a sudden, I knew, Dr. Span, when I thought about, damn, Tom Joyner makes money talking. Oprah Winfrey makes money talking. And I started thinking, Steve Harvey makes money talking. And then I watched my boy Eddie Murphy came out. That nigga was making money telling jokes. And then another comedian. And I like telling jokes too. But you know what? I like talking about serious stuff. I like esoteric stuff. And then there was a lot of preachers. And I think preachers was driving nice cars and stuff. So everything I wanted to do that my brain was telling me that I can't do, people was already doing it and they was making money doing it. So the internet was just taking off. And I was like, I had a life coach. And I told you guys my first life coach. And I was like, how much money do you make? And she told me. I don't even know more why I hired a life coach. Because I told you guys, the story. But I did. And I'm so glad that I did. Because she was already successful. So whatever you do and whatever you are doing, make sure that you find someone that is already doing what you want to do. So if you're interested in starting your own line business, doing what you love based upon your purpose, I got the class. Starts around April the 2nd, depending on when I'm trying to end it up so that way we can kick it off on April the 2nd. Let's go to the website MT33 Business School. This is monetizing your God-given destiny. Because now, woo, a lot of people gonna make a lot of money right now because a lot of people are losing their jobs and they gotta find another way to generate income. And if you're able to assist people with getting online and teaching them step by step, everything from getting their DBA, getting a tax ID number, setting up their sole proprietorship, setting up their S corporation, finding their products, producing their products, writing the books, going to Lulu, uploading the books, going to Payloads, uploading the audio, going over to PayPal or going to get you Cash App in order to have you set up your payment gateway. Also setting up, Instagram, which is Tube Mogul, Facebook, YouTube, so that way you can get social media. If you know the step by step, what I have in my system called 30 Steps in 30 Days is what I'm going to be teaching you so that way you can teach others. But the most important thing is the product. So I'm teaching 50 people how to find and then monetize their God-given destiny. I'm so thankful every morning I wake up. This morning I woke up, went back to sleep. I mean, I stayed up all night anyway, till like 2, 3 in the morning. I went to sleep, Dr. Span. I woke up at went to sleep from 3:30. Woke up at, I think it's about like 7:30 or 8. And I woke up, Dr. Span, and I was like, yeah, let me go back to bed. So I went back to bed, Dr. Span. Slept till around about 10, got up. Sister Stephanie went downstairs. Sister Stephanie made me some breakfast, made me a nice smoothie. Brother Joseph sit at the dining table. Brother Joseph sit my smoothie. About 10:30, Dr. Martinette, I looked at the clock and I was like, yeah, I guess I should get to work. So I went upstairs, Dr. Martinette, knocked out one life optimization report. By that time, Sister Diane, it was getting close to showtime. So I scheduled my noon show, Sister Diane. Knocked out the noon show, Sister Diane. Then I had a one-on-one new client, knocked out the one-on-one. Then I knocked out another life optimization report. Went outside and I looked I was like, oh, you know what? It's about 3:30, 4 o'clock. Sun was out. My car looked like somebody had urinated on it. It had all of that pollen stuff on it. I said, man, I can't leave my Camaro looking like that. So, Sister Stephanie, I went out there, washed my Camaro, came, looked at the clock. I'm like, oh, snap. It's already 6 o'clock. Time for the evening show. My days, every day is like that. I just make it up as I go. I got certain people I got to talk to, shows I got to do. But Sister Gwen, I wouldn't trade my life for nobody, Sister Gwen. And not one time today, other than doing the show and using it as an example. Brother George, I didn't think about the coronavirus. I went outside, I saw some people walking. My neighbor come outside and wave, and the people walking was looking. This one guy looked at me kind of strange. Like, why is this fool looking at me? Because I was walking down my driveway. I think he thought I was gonna like walking out to him. So I think he was getting nervous, like the whole, what does they say, 6 feet distance or whatever. And then I noticed when he saw me turn to my car instead of walking out of the driveway where he was jogging, because he was looking at me like, don't come next me, which I wasn't going to do anyway. Point being, the same way I've organized and structured my life is the way that I want you to organize and structure your life. So, Brother Travis, every day that you wake up, Brother Travis, you should be incited, because no insight is no invite. No invite, no insight, no insight, no excite. So the way that you become excited is you got to have invite. The way you get invite is you got to have insight. And insight is to go in and have sight, SIGHT, to be able to see your numbers and your letters and how God has designed and gifted you, and use your individual God-given destiny and dear Canera to live the life of your dreams. Brothers and sisters, it's very important. Don't make the mistake that I did and do what you think somebody else want to do. Do it some religion telling you to do. God has written his laws on the hearts and minds of his people. Follow your gut, amplified by your heart, carried out by your head, and we'll see you at the top. So, my brothers and my sisters, as always, it's been an honor and a privilege to be able to break bread with you. I thank God for you. Thank everybody so much for tuning in to tonight's show. Make sure you go to the website MT33 Business, MT33businessschool.com, and join me at the next class, business school, so you can get online and start grinding and shining.